Welcome to Kickstands Up, your host of Kickstands Up, Lou Devuono.
And welcome back to another episode of Kickstands Up. What a great week we have to cover. I have to tell you, I was part of a couple of really awesome experiences on the weekend, and I can't wait to share some of the outcome of it. We have a special guest in tonight, Ron Morissette of the Canadian Motorcycle Cruisers, Chapter 094 of Clarington, dedicated to the community that they ride in, and we got a great story about what they did on the weekend. Also joining me, as always, the big Bob, now affectionately known as Reverend Bob.
I don't know where they got that. Good evening, Lou. How are you, man?
Not too bad, not too bad. Last week we were talking about, straightening up, how the Roman Catholic Church hasn't done what they had to do and politics aren't doing what they're doing. Well, it brought to mind a little skit it's done by Christopher Titus.
He's good.
I want to play it for you because this might be the solution to everybody's problems. So, Gary, if you could hit that for us.
And do not misunderstand me. I believe in God. I look at my two kids and I know there's something. I'm married 15 years. God exists.
What took place on Friday night. It was a rather unique and special event that came together very quickly. And, well, Ron, I'm going to let you tell the story.
Well, pretty much everybody heard the media stories, and I have to give Rob credit, our first officer. He was really pissed. The story is we had an autistic young fella who's from Oshawa, and because his mother had challenges with MS, and he has another little brother, he was going over to Grandma's house, which is another 2 towns away. He was having a blast at Grandma's house. He was playing in the backyard. He likes to bounce rubber balls. He's 13 years old, and he was making the noises an autistic boy would make when he's having a good time, just like any kid in the backyard.
Yes.
And some crazy person, forgive me for being judgmental, but what she wrote was, you should euthanize this guy.
Yeah.
And whatever retarded body parts, don't use them, but anything that's not retarded, give it to science.
Yes.
Then gave the note to Grandma.
Right.
And let her have it.
Yeah, they delivered it to the door anonymously. It said it was signed one pissed off mother. And it, chastised this mother and grandmother for having this autistic boy, and that he played in the backyard, and that noise and that was disturbing. And that they should farm his body parts for science, and then euthanize him because he was an annoyance to this particular neighbor, if it was in fact a neighbor.
He's 13 years old, and he's just a great-looking kid.
Yes, he is.
He's just out there having a blast. And the part that really got to me in the letter, they should take him out in the woods and live in an old cave or an old house. I just thought, I have a young man who's got Asperger's. So I have a son who has ASD or autism spectrum disorder. And when I hear the stuff this lady spewed, it did enrage me.
Yeah.
But I just didn't want to give this woman any more time.
And so you and your club, Rob especially, came up with this idea.
For me, Rob started off, and he got a hold of a few people, and he got a hold of the press, and he said, you know what, we're going to get all these people together, and we're going to go by. And when I thought of it, I thought, great idea, because you know what they said in the letter? Who's going to love this kid? Mm-hmm. When you're dead, who's going to look at, what girl's going to marry this kid? And when I heard who's going to love this kid, I got really upset. And I said, you know what, I am.
Yeah.
We are.
That's
what
right.
happened to community? What happened to loving your neighbor? What happened to grace when people have issues? I got so angry. I said, you know what, Rob, I'm behind you 100%, buddy.
Yeah.
And we moved forward on it, and it caught fire.
Essentially, it was 2 days. Meet at Tim Hortons in Newcastle, which is a small community east of Toronto, in the GTA. And you were expecting a few dozen bikes.
Yeah. There's about 50 members. We'll get half. We might get a few others. So we think, okay, 30 bikes. I posted it on our Facebook page. Within 8 hours, I had 6,300 hits on that one post.
Yeah.
And then the radio station started calling. Rob got it. The press were just after him. He must have given 7 or 8 interviews. He talked to USA Today, I believe it is, and another American network. I mean, it just went viral.
Yeah.
And I was really concerned Thursday night thinking, what are we going to do? We're going to have over 300 bikes, I'm sure of it. And I had, I don't have any permits. I don't have a parade. The cops are going to try and get us to pay for them. Like, what am I going to do? I said, you know what? I'm behind this kid. I'm behind this family. And I said, I'm going for the ride.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, we'll figure it out. And the community came together.
By the time I arrived, which was probably about 6:30, with 7 o'clock being the intended departure time, and it was going to be a short ride, but I appeared at about 6:30, and there had to be 200 bikes already lined up.
Oh, there was. By that point, there was.
Easily, and they were down the street, and they were arriving in droves, and it was an incredible sight to see.
It was awesome.
And, thumbs up to social media, thumbs up to the networks.
A motorcycle rally was held tonight in honor of an autistic teen who received an anonymous hate letter last Friday.
The police showed up and provided full police support. They closed the intersections. They gave us a red flashing light escort right down to the grandmother's house, which was about 3 kilometers away. And before that, you had a little ceremony.
Yeah, we had a ceremony because we weren't the whole part was that we were supposed to ride down to meet the young fella at his grandmother's house.
Right.
Oh my God, he looked just like Elvis. The glasses on. He looked amazing. He hasn't been on a motorbike before, but I said he's been asking us, so.
So we gave him a vest that said Canadian Motorcycle Cruisers on it, and his name was on it, Maxwell. And he was quite excited by that.
More than 200 bikes took part in tonight's event.
Like everybody was on, with the radio stations, the papers, the cameras were there, the trucks, and this came together in 3 days.
Yeah.
We counted physically when we gave up, it was about 267 bikes, and they kept coming. And the estimates are between 280 and 300 of bikes that came. And I'm sure we had close to 500 people because of the people who lined the route and everybody involved. And that's in 3 days.
Yeah.
That's off the charts.
Here's another example of the positive that motorcycle community does.
Backbone of the community.
Yeah, and it came together very quickly, and there was no colors, no issues, no territorial things.
Nothing.
It was just the community coming together to show broad support for this young man, for this family, and I was deeply, deeply impressed with just the emotion that was present on
awesome.
That street when we pulled out. The horns were going, bikes were revving their engines, and then when we pulled up in front of the grandmother's house, the family was sitting on the front porch, and the bikes just filled
Just kept coming.
every space on the
that
street.
was available.
Yeah, it was an incredible sight, and they all just swarmed around that porch, and it was just heartwarming.
Well, even then, when we all rolled in, and I looked, the police car had gone as far as it could. The bikes were still rolling down the street.
Yeah.
And it was quite a sight because somebody actually on social media was standing on that corner and took pictures where the police car pulls up, and you look down the road and it's full. The bikes just keep coming.
Yeah.
And the family were just overwhelmed. Mom was sitting on the porch, and we went over and we presented her with flowers for her and for Mom. And because we're a biking community, I had this lawn ornament kind of thing that's one of those solar lights.
Yes.
And it had 2 frogs on it on a chopper, and she thought that was just great because obviously Maxwell, every time he'd look at it, he'd remember the situation.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to love on the family. Like the venom, it's in all of us, and we know it was wrong, but I just put that behind us. I said, this family did not deserve to be wounded, and we're going to love on them.
Yeah.
And boy, did you guys come out.
Yeah.
And I saw hog chapters, I saw colors, like everybody was in a brotherhood on this.
Yeah.
It was just a love-in. And I saw some badass guys with tears in their eyes, buddy, and I was proud to call them my friends.
Yeah, and I saw him on bikes. He was so impressed and so pleased, and his mother made comment of the fact that he looked like Elvis with the gold rimmed glasses.
He was a rock star.
Yeah, a little bit of a rock star, and I know that members of the HD Rock were out there and they gave him a little toque.
Yep.
And I want to send my deepest thanks to the motorcycle community for being there.
Absolutely.
Because it's the good side of what we do when we put our minds to it.
On the whole, most of us are just hard-working guys who want to get out and have a good time and help our community. And every time there's a call, we show up.